Okay, today we are playing a game on the Temple of Anubis. The average SR of this game was 2,327, and we will be playing Tracer the entire way through. Had a lot of Tracer games lately, haven't we? It's very unusual, because it was like this huge stretch of no Tracer videos, and then suddenly I got like 9 right at once. Anyway, current team composition is Diva, Roadhog, McCree, Tracer, Moira, and Mercy. So, pretty damn average, basically. And we're just gonna start the game straight away rather than go over it. So we've learned right away that they have a Symmetra, which is inconvenient, especially for Anubis. So we've now got to be careful where we go, because we might suddenly come upon a car wash if we go through one of the doorways. Generally, it's going to be on the left side, so going up the right side is going to be the safer option. As opposed, Symmetras, they love the left hallway, right hallway, if you're defending. So we're going all the way back around this way. I'm not sure what for exactly, because there's like nothing back here. So we end up kind of just waiting around behind the point for a while. Then we come over to contest it. We use recall like really early, because she hasn't actually built up that much damage on us yet. Because she's building up from 0% charge on her beam right now. Now, I know it's scary, but you have the benefit of recall and being Tracer. The correct play right here is you see... I'm trying to get, like, a decent shot of the health bar on Symmetra. She's currently half health. So she's got 100 health right now. The correct play is, honestly, we're reloading right now, blink right up to her while we're reloading, and just try to one-clip her the rest of the health. You don't even need to... You only need to do 75 with the gun, and then you can punch her to finish her off, right? And you've got recall, and you're a mobile lady, so there should be, like, no way Symmetra kills you, because she's got to start from 0 charge to actually do any damage on you. Tracer's all about killing people. Now it's a lot scarier to try and approach her, because she would have built up, she's now built up beam charge off of other people. And she's ended up killing some people on our team as well, whereas we had the opportunity to try and kill her. So, Mercy could still be alive if we were a little bit more aggressive. It's alright, we win the fight anyway, so it ends up not mattering. Didn't get punished, don't have to learn. This is the thing with, like, all of the flankers, though. When you see an opportunity to kill somebody, you've gotta go for it, right? And, you know, it's scary because you might die, you know, you might fuck it up, but you gotta go for it, right? No hesitation. Someone like Tracer or Genji... Reaper, Sombra, you see somebody who's like half health and you are in any kind of reasonable position to go for them, fucking go for it. If somebody's out of position and you think you've got a chance to kill them, just fucking go for it. Don't hesitate. Believe in yourself and go kill that person. It's what the hero's all about, killing people. You know, someone like Tracer, they've got no utility attached to them as a hero. Genji's got no utility attached to him. He's got very minor. Like, deflect can be used to protect people. He got, like, basically no utility attached to him. Reaper's got no utility attached to him. All they do is damage, right? You gotta get in there and pressure people and kill people as these heroes. Because that's what they're all about. Getting picks and pressuring. So, we got past the first checkpoint. They stick on the Symmetra. This is an annoying checkpoint to have to deal with a Symmetra, because, I mean, they're gonna put it back there, right? So we come back, stick the shield generator and recall back out. That's perfectly fair enough. Like, we want the shield generator gone as quickly as possible, and Tracer does have the benefit of just being able to stick it and then leave, right? So they got a Hanzo. Hanzo is very scary. We've got to be looking carefully at that man whenever we're trying to fight him, because as soon as we see him look at the ground, that's when we got to jump. But he's just getting bullied around by us and everybody else. Reinhardt's fucking dead. You know, they're running out to try and touch the point. They don't touch the point for that well, so we win the round. Great. So we're sticking on Tracer for defense, which is fine. Tracer, one of those heroes that's never bad, right? She's always good. This might change depending on how many people start playing Sombra, because a Tracer that's been hacked is the most tragic creature in existence. So that might end up not being so true. We've gone for some fancy blinks to try and get up to the top over there. There's really no point. Like, doesn't really do anything if we're up there. We could have... so we see they've still got a Symmetra, so that's very interesting. We could have tried to go for some, you know, cheesy plays where we hang out outside somewhere out of the gate because we've got the benefit of probably being able to get back. So, like, honestly, I just recall right now because I'm like, oh fuck, McCree's right next to me. That McCree should have killed you for this. But we just kind of get away with it. Like, he had ample time to kill you for this because he's seen you coming. He's right there. He knew you were coming, and then you blink right here. If this McCree's, like, a little bit better, he just turns and kills you right here. Because you're right next to him, and he saw you coming. But he's bad, so you get away with it. Like, you gotta assume he's gonna actually play well, and being that close to him, with him having seen you coming, he should be able to flashbang you and kill you for that, so you should just recall back, because you don't want to die, basically. Or, you know, you could try and juke out the flashbang with another blink, but, like, we'd used all our blinks to get over there, so... It seemed like we had decided we wanted to try and go and do some cheesy outside the gate stuff, but we decided to do it, like, really late, so we had to actually get out there. And, you know, we, like, got away with it all, but we haven't been very productive this period of time. You know, we got back and we killed Widowmaker and because she was, like, just kind of down here, you know, like, whatever. So that's cool, but we were very unproductive for quite a long period of time, and their team has managed to gain some ground as a result of that. Anytime you're doing a play that's, like, really slow, you've got to really be sure it's going to work, or you've got to know that, like, there's a pretty big payoff if it does work, because otherwise, you've just removed yourself from a fight for a very long period of time and made your team fight 5v6, which is less than ideal. So we're, like, really scared of this McCree. Like, just kind of don't get into a fight with him, really. You can try and bait out the flashbang, but, like... Honestly, right here, you can try and drill into him. Like, here's what you can do right now. I mean, you just try to stick him, which I mean is fair enough, but, like, if you're gonna try and stick him, get closer to him. Tracer's got the worst throw in the entire world, despite, you know, everybody else. You know, Anna, fucking 1,000-year-old grandma, got the best fucking pitch you'll ever see in your entire life. Chucks it all the way across the world. Sombra, you know, pitch isn't quite as good, but she can pitch that translocator pretty fucking far. And then you got Tracer, who has got, like, the most important projectile. And she's like, eh. Just, like, push right up into this boy's soul and, like, squish it on him and then recall away or blink back. And you don't want to ever really have to, like, throw it. Because then, like, it gives them more time to react. You just, in general, don't want them to have anybody to have more time to react to what you're doing. And it's just, you don't have to account for this, like, weak fucking arc that she has. But also, here's the other thing, right? Here's how you get the flashbang out of a McCree from this position real easy, right? You just, like, blink up close to him, drill him in the back for, like, half a second, blink back, because his gut reaction is going to be, Tracer's behind me, killing me. Whoop, turn, flashbang. So you blink back, dodge the flashbang. Then, when McCree has used his flashbang, he's barely any threat to you anymore. Fucking go in on that boy and just, like, tear into him. We go with the more, like, safe, try to stick him play, but, like, push up on that boy, if that's what you're going to go for. But if you're behind him, you can usually get the flashbang out of him pretty easy, because it's just like, fight or flight reflex kicks in. Fuck! Flashbang! So as long as you're ready for it, right? And then, you know, well, what if they double fake me out, right, and then they turn around on me and they don't flashbang me? Then you just kill him. There's no need to overthink it. If he doesn't use the flashbang, you just kill him. It's very straightforward, really. Overwatch is one of those games where you can kind of bait yourself into overthinking things. Like when the people in bronze are like, alright, we gotta get the perfect team composition right now. No one on your team knows how to play their heroes. Don't fucking worry about it. Just pick whatever you are reasonably comfortable playing. Doesn't fucking matter. Overwatch is in many ways a very simple game. So we hold the recall a kind of spooky length of time, honestly, because we end up dropping down to nearly dead. As soon as you're, like, half health, that's usually time to recall as Tracer, because that's the point at which something can very easily one-shot you. And you can't account for all things at all times, right? So here, we got shot in the side. It's Hanzo that shot us, so that's very scary. Recall's not up right now, but we do have Blink. There's a health kit under you, so I know you don't have much time to react, but you gotta be ready when you're playing Tracer to react to, like, spike damage happening to you and, like, reacting to it. Especially if you don't have recall. You gotta be, like, really ready to get out of the way. There's a health kit under the bridge, so, you know, it's pretty straightforward. You just have to actually react to it and be ready for it. So, you know, we're currently in the same position they were in last round, which is not really ideal situation. Mercy's floating around up in the sky, so there's not much we can do about that. It's a really scary environment to be in as Tracer, because there's so many things that can just suddenly kill you here, right? McCree hitting you, yeah, you might just die. If you get hit by any of the snipers, you suddenly drop down to nearly dead. And then you only gotta get hit by one other thing and you're gonna die. You can trip over a Junkrat mine or bomb, and that's basically your entire health. That's why I'm bad at Tracer. I always blink backwards and trip over a fucking bomb, because I'm bad. Unsurprisingly, he decides he's gonna take us with that one, so it's a pretty bad situation to be in. Like, I just, like, blink up and stick him, honestly. Like, I'm like, fuck you, you're coming with me, bitch, if nothing else. Because I look at, like, how many people just died on the checkpoint, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm killing Junkrat. It's a very scary team to play Tracer against, though. There's a lot of things over there that can very suddenly kill you. Genji's probably better than Tracer to play. Well, Genji's definitely better to play than Tracer against that team comp, because, I mean, Genji has the benefit of having more health than Tracer. But he also has better vertical mobility, which helps when contesting snipers, because Tracer's problem is usually getting up to high ground. And you can deflect all this shit, right? You can deflect the snipers, you can deflect the Junkrat bombs, you can deflect the flashbang. Tracer is very scary, because there's just, like, a lot of things that can suddenly kill you. I'm not saying you can't play Tracer against that comp, but you've got to be, like, fucking hyper-aware and ready for so much shit happening for you. I just play Genji. Genji's honestly easier to play than Tracer as well. I guess that's, like, a personal preference thing. It's just Genji's like, can be played in a more opportunistic style than Tracer, where you can just sit really far back poking at people with shurikens, and then when you see somebody drop low, you can go in with the dash, finish them off, and then dash back out off the, reset. Whereas Tracer has to actually, like, go in and, like, fight people, right? Tracer doesn't really have the benefit of having much poking range. Genji kind of just can poke and build up ult charge and then go in and make big plays with his ultimate, because Dragon Blade's, like, the best ultimate in the game. Tracer doesn't have that benefit. Her ultimate's less good than Genji's, but she's better overall at killing people than Genji is. So she has to actually, like, go in and play much more aggressively than Genji does, which is why I find Genji easier, personally. He can benefit from a more passive play style. Tracer can't really be played super passively. You kinda can, but, like, ultimately you gotta find a way to get in there and, like, kill people, right? So here's the, you gotta be real aware, right? There was an opportunity to try and kill Mercy right here, because she's just floated in off screen, and then she's, like, right here. And that's like a free attempt, if nothing else, right? You can blink up behind this wall here and try and drill her to death and, like, run her down, because she's also gotta, like, go through our team as well. So we don't even necessarily have to kill her, we just have to drop her low, and she might get finished off by some of our team. But, like, we don't even react to her until she's already out. So we did, like, doesn't look like we noticed her come in. You gotta be really aware. Tunnel vision's bad on any hero. But on a hero, as well, on a hero like, on any of the flankers, basically, you've gotta be really aware and, like, taking things in, because you've gotta be ready for, you gotta see the opportunities, and you've also gotta be aware of all the things that can kill you. Right? Flankers also, like, this is also an important step that people usually, forget when they're playing flankers, is you've gotta play, like, a little bit more passively right at the start of a round, right? Because having a plan is very important. You can't plan if you don't know what the enemy team is, right? And this is true if you're attacking or defending. You want to play, like, a little bit cautiously to begin with, like, see what the enemy team is, because that determines a lot of how you're going to have to play, right? Because if you see, like, fucking Widowmaker, then suddenly you have to move very differently because you have to avoid being in her line of sight as much as possible, right? If you see a McCree or Junkrat, you've got to be keeping an eye on them because they can suddenly come up upon you and, like, kill you very quickly. So you've got to know where they are and, like, keep track of them. Here we've juked out his flashbang. He's not scary anymore. Like, you can honestly just go in on that guy right now. Because, like, at that point, he has to land 2 shots on you and to actually kill you. And he's going to be panicking if he misses the flashbang, right? I played McCree, right? I played a lot of McCree. And if you miss the flashbang, you immediately go, oh, fuck. Because then the Tracer just goes in on you. And she's coming up all on you. And there's nothing you can do to CC her anymore. And Tracer's going to kill you real fucking fast. Because McCree's also a pretty big guy. He's pretty easy to hit, actually. So if he's not got his flashbang anymore, he suddenly becomes a lot easier to kill. Just, like, go in on that dude, right? He's not as scary anymore because he doesn't have the crowd control. But yeah, like, right at the start of the round, attacking or defending, you want to play, like, a little more cautiously. Figure out what the enemy team comp is. And then figure out what you're trying to do, right? And this is especially true if you're attacking, because you've usually got, like, you're trying to look for, like, the weak points in the defense that you're trying to get to, right? Like, you see they got a Widowmaker. Widowmaker's probably going to be really far off by herself. So you got to avoid, like, Widowmaker's line of sight as much as possible. Try and come up on her and from the side and then just kill her. Because she's going to be off by herself. Nobody's going to be helping her. So as long as you can get up to her, you'll probably kill her. And then you just got to figure out how to get up to her. If you see that they've got, like, Junkrat McCree, but they've got, like, Mercy Anna, then you're trying to get to the supports while avoiding the DPS, or at least keeping track of them so that you don't suddenly get killed by them. Having a plan is very important. In, like, this kind of situation, they're, like, 4 DPS and a diva. At this point, you're playing pretty reactionary, because there's, like, a lot of things happening, and, like, we gotta avoid open spaces because they've got Widowmaker. But we've also got to be careful of confined spaces because Junkrat and McCree are happy to fight us in confined locations. So you got to try and keep an eye on them while avoiding Widowmaker's line of sight. All this time, we're trying to, like, find ways to get to the snipers or the Mercy, right? So, like, there's a lot of things going on. If the enemy team's, like, 4 DPS and, like, a Diva and a Mercy, at that point you're going to end up playing pretty reactionary because you're just trying to, like, watching what they're all doing, and then, like, what they're doing and where they all are at that point in time is going to depend on, like, what you're meant to be doing. You gotta, like, keep track of a lot of moving parts if they're all DPS, essentially. Because that's the thing as well, if they're all DPS, there's not going to be a whole lot of teamwork happening, probably. So it probably is going to be, like, 4 people are off doing their own thing in different areas on the map, and you're just kind of like, alright, well, there's that dude and that dude, fuck that, I'm gonna try and get these dudes, right? In general, it's, like, very important to just know what you're trying to do, right? The fact that she changed off Diva is actually great news, honestly. So, if you see, like, this kind of team comp, right, basically any time you see a team comp that's got 1 healer, that's your primary target right there. I mean, the supports are usually the ones you're trying to kill anyway, but if you see they only have 1 support, killing that support is like an automatic win on the team fight. Because if they just lose their support right at the start of the fight, they, like, unless the hand of Jeff himself reaches down and blesses their game, they're gonna lose that fight, right? So you just like try at all costs to try and get to that support. Because if you kill that support, they are gonna have a bad team fight, and that support's gonna get tilted. Especially if you're playing like Tracer, Genji, Sombra, and you just like hard focus that Mercy, who's the only healer on their team. That Mercy's gonna get wicked salty and tilted. And as we know, the team that tilts first is the team that loses. Also, if the support gets really salty, they tilt the rest of their team, because the supports are always the ones that start talking shit immediately upon getting tilted. I would know. I play support, and my friend plays support. We're both salty bitches, so I know how it is. So, like, they lost a bunch of people before they even arrived, so things are very easy for us at this point, right? We're just trying to kill these people. McCree is using High Noon somewhere, but, like, nowhere near us. Not an issue. So they caught the first checkpoint, they didn't capture the second checkpoint. We got 6 minutes almost to work with just to like, honestly, this is the kind of situation I'm happy with, because I'm like, this first checkpoint is not that hard to capture usually, and at that point you're like, I can't lose anymore. I always find that to be an extremely liberating feeling, knowing you can't possibly lose anymore. At worst, you can only not win, which is way better than losing. So we're still playing Tracer. We didn't see any Symmetra stuff at this point, this time, but at this point they seem like pretty set on what they're gonna do, right? So this is all very unfortunate. We take damage as we're coming in. This is what I'm saying as well. You wanna, like, have a look up there, see what you see. We see a Roadhog hovering back there. Basically, we need to cut this a lot closer, because we've seen Roadhog. Like, you gotta cut it, like, real sharp, so that you get, like, behind this wall as quickly as possible. Because Roadhog's gonna be trying. Like, we come out in front of the staircase and then have to walk up the staircase. We need to go in, like, a more straight line to get behind the wall as fast as possible, because Roadhog's gonna try and get us. And he does get us. At this point, they seem pretty set on what they're gonna do, which looks like it's gonna be McCree, Junkrat, 2 snipers, right? Obviously, we see that's not true because they have a Roadhog as well. So, they've mixed things up a little bit. But at this point, they've played the same thing several rounds in a row, so I'm expecting something pretty similar up here. So coming up this way is real scary as Tracer, because this is the direction Junkrat's gonna be throwing bombs down. So coming up that way is, like, easy to suddenly get killed. This is like a more, nitpicky thing. But you want to try and, like, you want to try and not be out of blinks, basically. You always want to have, like, 1 in there. So you kind of want to, like, think about how you're going to blink when you're trying to get somewhere, right? So, like, we're set on trying to go up the right-hand side, right? So we want to try and be, like, as efficient with our movement as possible, because we don't want to have to waste extra blinks getting to the location, right? Like, we spend 2 blinks getting through this door, where 1 blink would have probably been fine, right? Because they know we're going to go through it. We can just, like, walk up closer to the wall, right? I keep going all the way back for this. Like, we can just walk up closer to the pillar in the center. Just walk up there, blink straight across, we'll be in the doorway. Then we can walk through this room, blink up the staircase like a sharp angle, and then we've still got 1 blink as we're going up the staircase, and we got there faster as well. You want to be, like, efficient with your movement, and you want to always have 1 blink at all times, because if you have no blinks, you're suddenly a lot easier to kill, and you're more likely to have to use recall, right? Like, you don't want to use recall unless you have to. Now, if you're getting scared that you're gonna die, just use recall, right? When in doubt, recall out. I stole that from someone else, but it's mine now. So, if you think you're gonna die, just recall. But if you've got 1 blink with you at all times, you're less likely to have to use recall to react to things, to react to danger. So, you know, if you know where you're gonna try and go, right, then it comes back to planning. Try and figure out where you're gonna go, and try to, like, get there efficiently, right? Like, you don't want to have to spend, like, 3 blinks getting to the same place when 1 blink would have done, right? So we don't quite kill the Mercy with this one. It's all very panicked and flustered by this point, it looks like. We do manage to kill that boy, so that's great. So, remember, keep wide. You're trying to be alert, right? We're killing this boy, alright. Mercy is, like, literally touching our shoulder right now. So we blink right after... No, we don't blink. We just, like, don't react quite quickly enough. Like, we can just, like... Right? Dead? Just turn immediately and stick her. Because she is, like, literally touching us at that point. We end up having to, like, readjust and, like, move around to, like, see her again. Just, like... We see the tether. Alright, Roadhog's using his ultimate, so we want to try and kill him first. Just as soon as he's dead, stick her. She's standing right next to you. No issue. Even if you're worrying about something else, just try and, like, keep track of where Mercy is, because you can see her tether, right? Like, it's not that hard to keep track of where Mercy is, because she has this giant beacon pointing right at her. Just kind of try and keep track of where she is, because Mercy is, like, always a pretty important target, so knowing where she is roughly is a big deal. Don't stand perfectly still. Ever. Because that happens to you. A sniper will just spontaneously appear on the map to finish you off if you're standing still. Or a McCree. That was awful. Let's watch that again. Oh god. Oh no. Not only did she just chuck it in there, the naked diva ult, but she also landed on the bridge, which is really sad. I'm pretty sure I saw something out of the corner of my eye. Yeah, someone was in that corner, I think? I'm not sure if that was actually a pot. Oh, that was a weapon, right? I'm pretty sure I saw somebody's weapon, like, on the corner right there, but I'm not sure. It could have been one of the pots. I'm not certain. So, like, this is just, like, an ill-thought-out maneuver, right? Because we just, like, blink forward. Oh, fuck, I've only got one blink. I can't get across. You gotta keep track of how many blinks you got. Because now we ended up having to use recall, and when recall is down, you, like, have to play more passively, because the risk of you dying suddenly skyrockets if recall is on cooldown. So it's just an ill-thought-out maneuver that ends up costing a cooldown to fix the mistake, right? You just gotta keep track of your blinks when if you're gonna make that kind of play where you're like going across a gap, you gotta stop and be like, do I have enough blinks? Okay. So we've almost got pulse bomb built up, so that's cool. We've still got plenty of time. Like, I'm still not overly concerned about it because this checkpoint is that way where you only need to get one good fight, you win the checkpoint, right? So, team's going in under us right now, and we're waiting for our blinks to get up. Come across, stick the Hanzo. He doesn't actually die. Why does he not die? They don't have a Zarya, do they? Do they have a Zarya? Like, why did that boy not die? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now, because he got stuck. It said stuck. No, they have a Roadhog. Why didn't he die? I'm very puzzled. Hold on. Stuck. It said stuck. Why did he not die? What happened here? Am I missing something? I mean, almost. I mean, I obviously am, because I don't know why he didn't die. Why didn't he die? Oh, did he have sound barrier on him? Yes, Lucio used sound barrier. Just heard us drop the beat. Oh, that's that's unlucky right there. Oh, figured it out, boys. Figured it out. Unlucky. It was good, because we sat and we thought about it, and then we waited, and then we went in for it. Yeah, I saw Lucio right there, and I was like, oh, maybe that was it. Yeah. That's just unlucky. Like, it was a good play. It just ended up that Lucio ended up saving the person. So, that's unlucky. It was a well-thought-out play, very patient, and then that executed okay. Lucio just happened to save it. It is possible, it's important to remember, with any competitive game, right? Or most things in general, really. It is possible to make no mistakes and still lose. Sometimes your best will not be good enough. So we end up not doing very much with this stick. Probably because we're, like, waiting to try and hit, Mercy with it. Like, honestly, they don't have that many people still here right now. I'd blink up, stick this Hanzo, be like, alright, he's dead. Then when Mercy comes down, we can just drill her, because there are not that many people here to help her at this point. We end up trying to stick Winston with it, it looks like. I would just want to get Hanzo out of the way, and then, like, you've got essentially free reign to try and kill the Mercy, because there'd be no DPS here to help her at that point. And we've already got, like, the momentum by that point. I'd just be interested in keeping the momentum going. Now we seem very lost, like we don't really know what we're trying to do in this team fight, because it seems like we just kind of been, like, blinking around, unsure what we were meant to be doing. And then we were just trying to kill Reinhardt instead. Or, like, chip at him from distance. We ended up having to use recall as well partway through, which is unfortunate. So we, like, super lost momentum. Now this is the point where I'm like, alright, so we're gonna be pretty lucky if we capture this first checkpoint at this point, right? Because, like, now we have to go in with not many ultimates and win the fight somehow. Now, it's not impossible. There's the thing that if my team played as well in overtime as they if my team always played as well as they do in overtime, I would win every game, right? As soon as overtime kicks in, your team suddenly gets infinitely better. Because they're like, oh shit, I better stop fucking around. And the enemy team also gets complacent, right? They're like, we got this, no problem. And then these two things converge. And you're more likely to win that fight than you would expect to be. Now, that being said, Genji died and Mercy died as soon as this fight started, so we're pretty fucked. They also have a lot of ultimates. Like, we're coming in with no ultimates. They've got like 9 ultimates. It's a very poor circuit. I have like almost every ultimate, don't they? No, Mercy used Valkyrie as well. They have every ultimate. They have like every ultimate right now, and we're coming in with no ultimates. It's a bad situation. Overwatch is that way, where like there are many times I've been defending, and I've been like trying to be a Sombra main. So like the other day, I like emped the entire enemy team, saw they had like 6 ultimates, and then we used 4 ultimates to win the fight, plus emp, and I was like, we are gonna lose the next team fight, because they're gonna come in with actually 6 ultimates, and we've got like 1 ultimate to try and fight them off with. It was not even close. They just came in on that next team fight, fucking trounced us, and got the point immediately. Overwatch is a very simple game like that sometimes, where it's like, if you got more ultimates, you probably won the fight. You have to fuck up, basically, if you've got a drastic ult advantage. So, that was the game right there. So, there wasn't really, like, one overarching thing that stood out, I don't think. Basically, it's like, be more aggressive as Tracer, because Tracer's a very aggressive hero. And, like, I'm this way where I kind of prefer playing Genji because I can play more passively. Sombra as well, I can play a little bit more passively and be more opportunistic. That's even Sombra's passive name, Opportunist. Tracer is, like, a pretty aggressive hero. So, like, you gotta be, like, not afraid to, like, go in there and try and kill people, right? And also just, like, have a plan, right? Like, at the start of the round, play, like, a little bit more passively. Figure out what the enemy team comp is, and then figure out, alright, what am I trying to do here, right? Like, what am I trying to make happen? Am I trying to bully the supports? If it's like Moira Lucio or Moira Bridget in the upcoming future, the supports are not that easy to bully. So at that point, maybe I start looking at the DPS instead. Or maybe I go, alright, the DPS are kind of iffy, so like I'll farm up my ult charge off the tanks who are kind of easy to bully around, and then I'll go in with my ult and like kill the DPS really easy, right? And just try to, like, harass and pressure people in the meantime, right? You gotta look, and you gotta see what it is, and then you gotta figure out what you're trying to do. And that's gonna vary a lot by team comp and by map as well. But, like, just look at their team, figure out what they got, and then think, alright, what seems like it would be most effective for me to focus on right here? And sometimes you're gonna fuck that up, but, like, just stop, think about it, and be like, alright, what am I trying to do? And then just try and do that. Just like, alright, it seems like it would be most efficient for me to be trying to do this, trying to be doing this. And then just go do that. Try and kill that person. And keep in mind as well, the threats on their team as well. You gotta figure out what you're trying to do, and what you're trying to avoid. These are both equally important. So, thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, join our Discord. You can have a more direct conversation and ask questions and shitpost with us, because we do a lot of that. And I hope you found the video helpful.